And I'm going to be honest with you. Thaddeus Archer III, he tricked me. Because there's another saying in life. A snake is always a snake. Thad, you want to snake me? That's what you want to do to God's gift to wrestling, Michael Richard Blaze. You want to snake me? You want to snake this company? The fans? If I have to cut off the head of the snake, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Are you finished? Yes, he's finished. Welcome
Shenanigans!
Welcome to Discover Progress, the podcast that used to be solely about progress wrestling, and now, this time around, we're talking about Prairie Wrestling.
Yes.
The Prairie Wrestling Alliance.
It's a coalition.
So here's the deal. We, myself, David,
and myself, Adam.
we live in Edmonton.
Yes.
We got a local promotion here called PWA. You've heard us talk about it a couple times. In fact, go back a couple episodes, and we interviewed a guy by the name of Michael Richard Blaze, or as he corrected me, God's gift to wrestling, Michael Richard Blaze. You've probably seen him on the internet at some point in time.
Mm-hmm.
He is from our local promotion, PWA, and this past weekend, we happened to attend a show. Not the first time. We've gone to a few.
Yes.
But we decided to talk about it.
Yes.
Because why not?
Because why not?
They just had their show Fall Fever, and so we're going to get into it a little bit. But before we get into any of that, let's get into the housekeeping. Of course, of course, you can find us wherever you find podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that stuff, as well as YouTube, and at allwrestling.com. Make sure wherever you prefer to listen to podcasts, you subscribe, you rate, you review. That way we help spread the word of Discover Progress, or this episode shall be known as Discover Progress. This is the whole reason I wanted to record us discussing PWA. Yeah, get it? PWA?
Yeah.
Progress. That was a bad joke.
Oh.
Are you still with me on this? Here we go. Okay. So, yeah, do all that stuff. Be our friend. Follow us on
like,
Twitter.
share, subscribe.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Disc Progress for both of those. Instagram being the Adam Story Show.
That's
Adam's
me.
show. And Twitter being my show, The David Show. And every week from Wednesday until Friday, we don't do anything on social media because it spoils everything for us.
Yes.
Not entirely true. But anyway, let's get into this. So our opening match, we had what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus matches.
13?
Yeah, there's one that was supposed to be a match that didn't happen. We'll get to it,
Yes.
though. First and foremost, the opening match was Bobby Sharp versus Kat Von Hees, which I didn't know this.
At the time.
Well, I knew this at the time of the
Yes.
show, but I learned about it shortly before the show. But Bobby and Kat, husband and wife.
Yes.
So I'm assuming this is some kind of marriage counseling for them to get in the ring and just duke it out.
Just beat each other up. It saves money.
They
get paid for it instead of paying someone else
right?
to deal with it.
It was pretty funny, though, because, I mean, Bobby Sharp, he's, kind of the arrogant, muscular, good-looking dude sort of thing. And it was just kind of funny to watch him play that off of his wife.
Yeah.
I don't know if, like in ring they've ever addressed that. I'm not 100% sure. I just saw on the PWA Facebook page, like in promoting the show, they were talking about how, they're husband and wife, but they're going to fight. And so there were people in the crowd that had picked up on that, and they were, shouting different things. But it was just great because at the beginning of the match, he smacked her butt, and she just, chased him down.
Yeah. It's for good luck.
Yeah, it's for good luck, which was kind of funny. In the end, actually, Kat Von Hees goes over. She beats Bobby Sharp. I don't know what her finisher is called.
Neither do I.
But it's the sharpshooter, basically.
And she bridges it.
She bridges back and over. So, I mean, I like the idea of it.
It's a bridging Indian deathlock.
Yeah, and I like the idea of it. I don't know. It felt kind of awkward getting in and out of because she put it on him twice, I think.
Yeah.
And the second time she put it on him, he passed out. He didn't tap out. He refused to submit. So he passed out due to pain. and
or something.
Yeah, or something. Pain or something.
See, I thought it would be cool. I thought she was going for, when the first time she did it, I thought she was going to grab him by the chin.
Yeah.
And have it like a sharpshooter chin lock.
Yeah, which I wonder if that would be possible. Or
if she's strong enough to hold herself up with one arm, I think so.
I don't know. You need such ridiculous core strength.
Yeah.
To do that.
I know.
Or actually reef on the dude's chin, so you're like pulling yourself back up. Yeah. But I like it. It feels like it needs something. I did like it though. It is like I haven't seen anybody else do it, so I was like, that's kind of neat. It's basically, it reminds me a little bit of a variation of like Charlotte's figure eight, except being from where we live. Sharpshooters are pretty commonplace, so using the commonplace instead. When I look at it, I go, psychologically, does that add anything to the move? Probably not. But, whereas like with Charlotte, you can argue like, well, the bridging, maybe it pulls a little more on the legs in the figure four. But but anyway, it was a fun little opener. I liked kind of the back and forth that they had playing into the whole husband and wife dynamic. It was fun. And I like seeing Kat. She's
pretty tough.
Yeah, every time I've seen her, she I've seen her a couple times. She always seems to steal the show in in the match that she's in. And this is it's funny because we'll get into a few matches down the card. PWA is kind of just more recently introducing. I don't know how many months it goes back now, but like an actual women's division with a women's championship. And it's funny because I've yet to see Kat actually wrestle a woman one-on-one. She's always in matches with guys. I've seen her in a match with another girl before. First time I saw her, Zoe, who we'll talk about in a bit, was on the other side in a 6-person tag. But so as they kind of continue to build that women's division, maybe we'll see it a little more. But our second match on the show,
best match of the night.
Best match of the night. This one, it was a title match.
It was a title match.
It was for the Mayhem title,
the PWA Mayhem title.
I'm familiar with the Mayhem title, but this made me think of something. I was like, it brought up a question.
Yes.
Because in my mind, I just assumed the Mayhem title was essentially a hardcore title.
Right. And I believe that's originally what it was.
Right. But then in this match, they said the stipulation is...
So I think now it's the stipulation belt.
Could be. Unless they just happen to add that for this match.
Right.
But anyway...
Last man standing.
Thickness, Reed Matthews is the champ.
He is the king of thick style.
The king of thick style. He was supposed to fight Mephisto, but Mephisto was sick. Yeah. I don't know where he was.
Had tummy troubles.
So he fought Nightmare D12. Nightmare's great in the sense that I've only seen, again...
The last time I saw him, he had come back from his vacation in Mexico, and he was still wearing pool floaties.
So for those of you who are unfamiliar and you're just listening to us for whatever reason talk about PWA wrestling that you've never ever seen.
Yeah.
He's dressed in like one of those like head to toe like body suits, so it covers his face and he's head to toe. So it could essentially be anybody. It
could have been Mephisto.
It could have been Mephisto. I don't think it was. No. Mephisto's pretty big.
He's a pretty big.
But yeah. And so this time, what did he come out wearing? Because I saw him.
He was just wearing his. It was a black and red one.
Yeah. Did he have anything? Did he come out with like a hat on or anything?
Maybe a hat, but I don't remember.
But I saw him a few months back in they did a benefit show. For the Kids with Cancer Society in Edmonton, and they did this Rumble, and he was in it, I think, 3 times, which was pretty funny. He also was doing this wave thing where he
just likes waving at people. Yeah.
But so it was a last man standing match, and Thickness, Reed Matthews, who I want to say he's a crowd favorite.
Oh yeah, everyone likes Thickness.
Yeah, and he's great.
Which was funny because former member of the Millennial Rebels, which was like their premier heel tag team.
Yeah. Oh, he was?
They broke up. Yeah, he was a tag member. He was
with Colton.
He was tagged with Colton, and then they turned on him after they lost.
Yeah, so
I think the above average joke.
This is all before my PWA time, but So as far as like seeing people in the crowd having merchandise from wrestlers and whatever, I've seen a few King of Thick style shirts.
Yeah,
he's also great though because every show that I've been at that he's been on. At intermission, 110%, he's out there.
He's out there, yeah.
He's out there taking pictures, meeting people, which is great. And he's out there with his belt.
Seems like a nice guy.
Belt.
It's a huge belt. It's almost as big as he is.
Yeah. But so last man standing match.
I thought it might have been a heel turn because it was a last man standing match and he did the Blue Thunder Bomb or whatever he calls it. I think that's his finisher.
Yeah.
And the ref got to 8. And then
I don't even think he got that far. He grabbed the hand.
He grabbed his hand and stopped him. He's like, people came to see some mayhem.
Yeah.
He goes, grabs a ladder, sets it up, and
did he Blue Thunderbomb him through the ladder?
Yeah.
And then the ladder, an audible like breaking, cracking noise.
And then everyone started shouting one more time. So he stopped the count again and did it again and literally snapped the ladder.
Oh yeah, does it again, puts him through the ladder. But what was great is because then, as the ref is counting, he grabs the ladder again, and I thought, oh, is he going to set it up and do something else? He puts it over in the other corner and uses it as a bench and just sits on it while he counts. It was a quick little match, which was fine. This show really started off moving pretty quickly.
It did, yeah.
And then we kind of ground to a little bit of a halt because after that match, Thickness wins, hangs on to the Mayhem title.
He takes the ladder and the title with him.
Oh yeah, he put the
Nightmare stays in the ring.
He took the ladder and he leaned it up against the wall,
literally unconscious.
Yeah, but then Andy Anderson comes out. Now this is my one complaint. So like, I guess Andy Anderson goes way back. I mean, he goes way back and all over the place in wrestling in general. But there is this story that's been going on almost as long as I've been going to PWA shows.
Yeah.
It may have actually happened at the first PWA show I went to, where it was like a post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Everything finishes, everyone's getting up and leaving, and
Sheik
like this,
standing victorious.
Yeah, this was months ago,
reeling from his beating,
almost
whichever.
a year ago. Yeah, he just won. Was that the ladder match?
I think so. Yeah.
I think that was the ladder match where MRB was all over the internet.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's standing there. No, that wasn't my first show I went to then. Because the first
show...
show...
No, it was prior to that, yeah. It's been a while. It's been months.
The ladder match was at night of... whatever. But anyway, after Sheik won a match, this guy runs down to the ring.
Hits him with a briefcase.
Yeah.
Runs out.
And right before that, MARC was like delivering cutters to everybody. Do you remember that? Or
no,
came
that
out
was after
that.
MARC
yeah, that's right. Briefcase
after.
comes out, motorcycle helmet comes out, which ended up being Andy Anderson. And then Michael Allen, Richard Clark just cuts everyone. Hits cutters on everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. It was kind of funny. But, so that was months ago. And then over time, they kept telling he kept attacking Sheik and all this stuff. And then eventually he unveils it's Andy Anderson. So Anderson this was supposed to be his official, like, I think, return to the ring in PWA.
Yeah. Even
though he actually fought at that benefit show I was telling you about, and he lost 3 times to Zoe in one match. So,
aww.
Yeah. But this is the thing. The couple times I've seen Andy Anderson out there as Andy Anderson, it slowed the show.
Yeah.
Whether it was the losing multiple times to Zoe in that match, it was the Andy Anderson Open Challenge, or the other 2 times where he just come out and cut promos and unveiled himself and whatever. They just take forever.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess it's fine, but it's sometimes like I feel like it should be sped up.
It's kind of draining.
Yeah, it can be. This one wasn't as bad. The last one, I think it went on a long time.
Yeah.
It felt like Sheik took forever to come out.
Like, poor Nightmare. He was just getting beat up.
Because eventually, and I mean, the whole thing was like they were shouting that Andy sucks or whatever. And he's like, the more you shout that, the more I'm going to beat this guy.
Right.
And everyone's like, Andy sucks. He's like, ha ha ha, and starts beating him more. I'm like, okay, you're playing with the crowd. That was great, but I do like all the yelling he does at old ladies.
Yes. Well, there's some very vocal old ladies.
There's a couple that sit front row. Yeah, it's great. But,
wonderful ladies.
Yeah, but it just slowed down.
It did.
A little too much.
But eventually Sheik comes out and makes a save.
Yeah. That actually, the
challenges Andy to a match right then and there.
Yeah.
And Andy comes back. He's like, gets in the ring and gets in his face. He's like, you're not worth it. And then he leaves.
And then leaves. But I think the best part of the whole segment,
he was trying to help Nightmare up.
Yeah.
And eventually he just picks him up
carries him like a baby. But Nightmare, I mentioned earlier, he's doing the waving thing. When Sheik picks him up, he's still like half like awake waving. It was pretty great.
And then he rolls him out, and then he picks him up and puts him over his shoulder
and carries him away.
Poor Nightmare D12 out.
Yeah. We'll talk a little bit more about Sheik in a little bit.
Yes.
Because he was in the...
Not the last time we see him. Nor Andy, actually.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah. But so after that, we're trying to go off memory here. We weren't planning on,
so I didn't take any notes.
Yeah, there were no notes or even like order written down. So I believe the next match was a tag match. It was the League with Kylie Morgan against Space Mountain. I enjoy the League.
I do too.
Especially Davey O'Doyle.
Yeah.
The way he interacts with the crowd and then with other wrestlers.
He's very charismatic and he's actually
so
quite athletic. Like, he's not like flippy stuff athletic.
Yeah.
But you can tell he's in pretty good shape.
I would support them because they had the belts. I think when I first started, maybe the first show I went to, Above Average Joe's beat them.
Yeah.
Or it was the second show, whatever it was. But I actually I've come to enjoy the work that they do. Like Davey O'Doyle actually fought last show I was at. He fought Bobby Sharp, which was this weird match when they came out because I'm like, it's heel versus heel. What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
And it ended up being one of the most entertaining matches on the card. Simply the talking that those two did in the ring with each other. It was fantastic. And I'd like to see like Davey O'Doyle. So another step sort of deal because I think he's got a lot to offer.
I feel one of the things kind of holding them back is the whole Rough Rider Army type stuff.
But no, it's fine because like I get what you're saying.
I get it. Like, okay, they're from Saskatchewan.
Yeah,
blah,
like
blah,
for
blah,
PWA, the show, the promotion that we're talking. Like, I think it works fine because it's very like it is very niche.
Yes,
you couldn't do that exact gimmick
anywhere
else.
I mean, their gimmick is a lot like I want to say the Kingdom. No, from ROH.
Oh, like the conspiracy stuff?
No.
Because it's funny that you bring
the guy
it up
with the axe.
Yeah, that's the Kingdom.
Okay, the Kingdom.
Yeah. But it's funny that you do bring that up because Sean Moore, who we get to later in the show, he's buddies with the League.
Yeah,
and he talks about a conspiracy.
Yes,
but yeah, no, the League. I think like the Sasky Boys, Rough Riders thing. Their logo's cheeky, like it's an L for League, but it's like the
Instead
Rough Riders logo.
The R on the Rough Riders logo.
It's an S.
Oh, isn't it?
Yes. Come on, get your Canadian Football League facts straight. But what makes it so good, what I was going to say, is because you take that team and you put them in a promotion in Saskatoon or Regina.
No, they're faces.
110% faces.
They're getting cheered.
Yeah, like Rough Riders, like Rider fans.
I mean, most people like Rider fans. Like, Rider fans aren't generally insufferable.
Well, I think it's the opposite of what you're saying. Yeah,
really?
Like I'm not a CFL fan, but like Rider
either.
fans are like the notoriously loyal fans sort of thing.
But they're not jerks about it, though.
I mean, I guess it depends. What every fan base has their jerks.
Well, I'm just going off the Oilers, and all their fans are jerks.
Whoa! Slow yourself. I'm not an Oilers fan, but slow yourself. We're
drawing a line.
Yeah, wow. Okay, so we've often discussed if we were to ever like be a commentary team, who would be the face and who would be the heel, and you clearly just drew a line in the sand.
I am the bad guy.
Talking about a show based in Edmonton and just immediately calls all Oiler fans jerks. Well done. But no, the League end up losing by disqualification against Spaceman.
Yes, because Kylie jumps on the Spaceman's back.
Yeah, it's something along those lines. That was one I was like, I can't quite remember how this finishes, but I think you're right.
I just remember seeing Kylie like wrapped around one of them, and it's like, what's going on? Because I looked down to check. I think my wife texted me, so I looked down to text. I looked up. I'm like, wait, it's over?
It's over. Ding, ding, ding. Match over. But I don't know if there was supposed to be anything, if there are any stakes in that match, really.
No, I don't believe there were. I thought maybe it might have been for a number one contendership.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
I mean, we only saw half of the Above Average Joes.
Yeah, well, and we'll get to that, but that's been a common thing for the Above Average Joes, because same guy has been
maybe
missing
the other
last
guy's
few shows.
injured.
Could be. Then they got to do something.
They should make him defend. Have someone else
Well,
help.
and so he fought, last show I was at, he being Aiden Adams, who's one half of the tag champs Above Average Joes, he actually teamed up with Titan, one half of Space Mountain last time, against Mephisto and Gabriel.
Oh,
Gabriel? Yeah, that's his name.
He's the vampire, right? Yeah, Gabriel.
And they lost, like Mephisto and Gabriel won. So I didn't know what was supposed to come of that. Yeah, so who knows? But anyway, it is funny, though, because you mentioned Kylie Morgan getting involved in that match.
Yes.
Part of me was like, did she get involved? She's like, it's getting close to match time for me.
Yeah,
get out of here.
That must be it, because she immediately came back out. I think
next match,
Darren came out with her.
Yeah.
Not Davey.
Braden.
Sorry.
Braden Parsons. Yeah, he came. Yeah, which I was like, I wish it was Davey.
Yeah.
But Braden came out. Yeah.
To face.
Yeah, that's right.
To face Zoe Sager
for the women's championship.
Current PWA Women's Champion, I believe, inaugural PWA Women's Champion. So she's been
one and only.
She's been champ for a while.
Yep. And I believe these two are actually graduates of the Lance Storm Wrestling School.
I think actually quite a few of the
it's possible,
guys
for sure. Yeah.
in PWA are graduates of the
for
Lance
some
Storm.
reason or another.
It's weird that way. I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah. But so this is I was talking about earlier, like watching kind of like the women's division grow, and now that they've got a title belt, which apparently you can't do up
Shh, you're not supposed to tell people about that.
We got to get some snaps or something on that belt. Zoe's just
buy
going to
them
carry it
some
around.
Velcro.
Zoe's another one of those competitors who is out there every time.
Yeah.
And I think it's great. I know anytime I bring my kids to the shows, they're so pumped that these wrestlers come out and meet everyone at
That was funny, though. Your kid, he was walking around. He almost walked into her.
Yeah. I brought my 8-year-old son with me this time, and he was wandering around like at intermission and turned around and Zoe was right there. He was like, whoa! But yeah, his goal is always to go meet as many wrestlers as he can. Now, it is a lot of times the same ones because, like I said, the same ones tend
the
to come
good guys
out.
generally come out.
Yeah, although last show, the league were out.
Yeah.
And they were collecting, they grabbed like this donation bin that was empty for something, and they were just asking for people to give them money. It was kind of funny. It's a good time.
That's great.
But Zoe against Kylie. I don't know who else she's got to fight because
Kat
is the only one. And
I know of. Okay, I honestly haven't been to a lot of the shows recently, so I don't know all of the roster. But they have 4 women that I know of.
Yeah, we were trying to figure
Kylie, Alex,
Zoe,
and Kat.
Yeah. So I mean,
she beat Alex for the belt initially.
Oh, is that who she beat?
I believe she
defended against Alex last time.
She
I saw her.
defended
I don't know
against
how
Alex.
she won the belt.
I don't know.
I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't at that show, but might have to go back and see if we can figure that out.
We did see Tennille Dashwood at one point.
Well, I didn't. I wasn't at that show.
She was former PWA luminary alumni.
Yeah. Was she from here?
No, she's from Australia.
Yeah, but why are you saying former?
She trained at Lance Storm.
Oh, yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, did she compete in PWA?
She competed in PWA.
Oh,
yeah.
interesting.
As far as I know, I've never saw any of those men.
Well, as did current WWE superstar. Why did I forget her name? Natalia.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Also Victor.
Blank. Yeah.
And former WWE superstar, current WWE producer, Tyson Kidd.
Tyson Kidd, yeah.
I saw his last match at PWA.
Few names.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so Zoe, she hangs on to the belt.
Yeah, she won.
Yeah, it was a good enough match. Like I said, I like to see that division grow a little bit and get a little more.
It was also nice not having Braden interfere with the match.
Yeah, there was no
because he was just out there.
Yeah.
Like, and you thought, he's going to hop up on there and distract the ref or something. But no, it was just.
He did. I think. Did he keep going on about? Oh no, that was when he was in the tag match.
Yeah.
He was going on about them cheating. Come on, they're cheating.
Yeah.
When they weren't. But anyway, that brought us to a match that I was surprised to see on the first half of the show.
Right.
Let alone not. I mean, I knew it wouldn't be the main event. I expected it to be the second last match, but it would be for the Commonwealth title.
Yes.
The PWA Commonwealth title, the mid card title in PWA. It was former champion Sean Moore, whom I think is great.
Whom is very great.
Against current champion and current chairman of All Elite Wrestling, Sean Spears.
10.
Now, this show I put on my calendar as soon as it was announced because when he won that Commonwealth belt was a number of months ago, I was unable to go. Yeah, it was in June. And I couldn't go, and I was bummed. I was like, it looked like a great show.
The prior show, he didn't show up. He wasn't there for.
Yeah, no. But that show where he won the Commonwealth belt also featured MRB versus Teddy Hart.
Yes.
So I was like, that would have been a great show. But anyway, so got to see him this time, and he's so much fun.
He's great.
It's funny because it was Sean versus Sean, and they started chanting "Sean's a jobber," to which the crowd then changed to "Moore's a jobber" because they're like, "Wait, both guys are Sean." But then Sean Spears stops him. He's like, they usually say that about me, so this is great. And there's a whole...
there was a big bit at the beginning
about
where
taking
Sean
shirts
Moore,
off.
they all took their shirts off. Even the ref took his shirt off.
Yeah, well, that was the funny... So, like, because I believe Sean Spears had taken his off, like, no big deal. And then Sean Moore did this thing and took it off. And then Spears was like, hold on, puts his shirt back on, takes it off. Moore puts his shirt back on, takes it off. And then finally, Sean Spears is, like, pointing at Fitzy, the ref. He's like, and the crowd cheers, and Fitzy takes his shirt off, and everyone goes crazy. Fitzy puts his shirt back on. He's got business. He's got work to do.
He's got work to do. You have to be able to tell who's who.
Right.
There's a bit Sean Moore was just kind of pacing around the ring. He didn't want to get in.
Yeah.
So Sean Spears actually just hopped the barricade and sat with a couple of kids in the front row.
Absolutely,
and they were
loving it.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah, I thought it was so fantastic. Yeah. But yeah, no, this match was a pleasure to watch. I mean, a lot of times they will bring in outside talent. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like who we've seen Jeff Cobb, we've seen Frankie Kazarian, obviously Sean Spears.
I've seen Christopher Daniels.
Yeah.
My friends have seen Samoa Joe. They've seen AJ Styles has been here. MRB was talking about he had 3 matches with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
So like they do get guys in. It's strange because you can tell which promotions allow it,
Right.
and which ones don't. Jay Lethal we saw.
Yeah, so a
and
number of ROH guys have been here.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Jay
Frankie
Lethal
is
actually defended.
Yeah, you were saying that.
The ROH championship against Lance Storm.
Yeah.
I got to see that.
That's pretty great. Obviously, Frankie's now with AEW.
Yes,
but
it'll be interesting to see how that works.
Yeah,
because AEW might allow these guys to go and do their independent bookings still.
It is interesting too, though, because Sean Spears, he wins this match.
Yeah, and we thought, oh, this is probably his last match.
Yeah,
He'll
I thought.
lose, maybe.
Well, I knew he was coming back for another show in Calgary, but I figured, he'll lose the belt here and then have a rematch sort of deal, right?
Yeah.
But he wins, and so now he's he genuinely seemed happy to be here in he said, it feels good to be home. Now he's from Ontario,
Niagara Falls,
from Niagara Falls. He's not from here, but he did also his tweet when he landed. I'm assuming he was at the airport. He had a Tim Hortons cup.
Yeah,
it was good to be home, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
he's a Canadian through and through.
It is funny though because his second appearance, or what would be his third, but his next appearance with PWA. Ended up originally falling on the date of the next AEW pay-per-view, so they had to move the whole show. Yeah. So I'm like, well, all right, cool good for them for still following through on that though, and making it work because I'm assuming he's a good guy to work with. Mm-hmm. Like they put a belt on him, from a what I would have assumed originally to be a one-time or limited, sort of
which
showing.
is interesting because we were watching. Just before we started the podcast, we watched the Jordan Grace versus Meiko Satomura match from Progress, chapter 95. And I was like, I would just be so nervous about that because it's like you're giving these people your belts, and they're not staying in Edmonton.
Right. Yeah, and I wonder with Sean if he took that with him or if he leaves.
Right.
Like it's not like he's touring
around
shows. Yeah. I'm assuming he leaves the belt here. And if Kurt is listening,
let us know.
Give us let us know. Look us up on Twitter and or Instagram at Disc Progress.
at Discover Progress.
If you could speak, remember it's Discover Progress.
Progress, right? Disc Prog.
Disc Prog. Disc Prog. Just for anyone who couldn't clear that one up.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm assuming he leaves the belt here. But in the case of like Jordan Grace and stuff like that, I wonder. It's like she for sure had it with her because she had defended. If you go on Demand Progress, she's defended it at different shows of different promotions. But and I know, and I mentioned like back in the day, for instance, for sure with the WCW belt, you like the big gold belt, you had to there was a deposit basically that you put on it, and then you got that back. Hence, Ric Flair taking it on WWF TV because they didn't give him his deposit back.
So it's his belt.
All right, but
sorry guys.
Anyway, we're not here to talk about Progress
or the history
WWE
of
or WCW or any of that stuff because what we're here to talk about
is Sean Spears.
Yeah, I was going to move on to the next match, and then I was like, do we have anything else to talk about?
Super sick match? Death Valley Driver. It's a good looking Death Valley Driver.
I love that he still that he brings that entrance too.
Yeah.
He brought it with it where he just like slowly walks out with the hood up, dragging the chair.
Yeah.
Like it's a good look.
It's weird though because he was clearly the face in this match.
I know.
And he's like he's just like walking slowly, dragging the chair. He holds the chair and the title up.
Yeah.
And then everyone's cheering for him. It's like it's such a heel entrance.
Yeah.
But he's such a face.
Yeah, but I think even when he I don't know, Cody whatever.
Yeah. He's great. It'll be interesting to see his progression in AEW.
For sure. But our next match
After the intermission,
when all the walking around happened, where my son tried to meet all the wrestlers.
Yeah.
After the intermission, we got a 6-person gauntlet match. I don't know if it was.
I thought
initially.
It was just
I just thought it was a 6-way
match,
but
6-way.
Man, maybe I didn't ever read that. Maybe it was always a gauntlet match. But part of me also thought, well, I mean, I know Andy Anderson was supposed to have a match that didn't actually happen,
and I imagine the Mephisto thickness match was probably going to be a little longer than.
Yeah. So I thought, well, maybe they changed it to a gauntlet to kind of fill some more time.
Yeah.
And the show ended up going long. Like it felt long.
It did.
I don't know if it ran over at all, like from what they planned or not, but it did go to almost 11 o'clock. Mm-hmm. So it was a little, especially for my 8-year-old. It was a little late.
He started petering out
after the intermission, he was going on about how tired
we go
he was.
home?
Yeah, I was like, no, we got to see the main event.
That's literally the reason we came.
Well, no, it was that and Sean Spears.
Well, Sean is probably the reason.
But so we get the 6-person gauntlet match. It features Colton Kelly, Brandon Van Danielson, Alex Zwicker, who we mentioned earlier, who fought Zoe for the belt.
Yeah.
Aiden Adams, Sheik, and
Shabazz,
and Mo Jabari.
Yeah.
So, gauntlet match. It starts out with Colton Kelly and BVD, which I'm interested to see if we go somewhere with this.
They must.
They actually had a match last show I was on. Now that I think about it,
it'll be a bull rope match.
Yeah, maybe. It's possible. BVD comes out with a bull rope.
He does. He almost hit Ivan with it.
Yeah,
when he tossed it into the ring.
He's crazy. But it was a double countout is how that first match ends.
They suplexed each other into oblivion
onto
the floor. And there's no padding.
No, it's just like a hard floor.
When you go see a WWE show or like AEW even, they have at least those little the flat gym mats.
Gymnastic pads, yeah.
This was just straight floor.
Yeah, straight to the floor. As you can imagine, we couldn't see it.
It sounded
We saw
bad.
the top half of it.
Yeah.
It sounded like a good smack. So they got counted out, both of them.
Oh, you forgot Colton Kelly comes out with Dr. Kyoto.
Yes. Did I forget that?
You forgot.
I mean,
that.
I didn't say it. But
it was very important.
I don't
Dr.
think he played a role, did he?
He didn't. No, he did hop up on a bit because BVD grabbed his shirt. He was going to smack him, and then Colton,
I don't remember.
I think Colton low blowed him.
Maybe. Oh.
I think.
There was a low blow, but it was like someone grabbing the ref. What match was it? That might have been
no, that was MAR. Yeah, that's right.
But anyway, so it ends in a double countout.
Okay.
So we just immediately got rid of 2 guys.
Yeah.
Which I was like, okay.
And then Alex comes out.
Alex Zwicker. Okay, this is one thing I wanted to say. She is so good on the mic.
Yeah.
Like, she came out, and I was like, I almost didn't want her to stop.
Yeah.
Because, so she was basically just coming out, ripping into the crowd and all this stuff, right? And then it basically then goes on to say, I just beat Colton Kelly and BVD, which technically, kind of, sort of, she's next in line. They eliminated each other. But, she cut a great
very good promo,
yeah. And she was good. I know last time when she fought Zoe, too, especially, the trash talking, she's really good at it. So I look forward to seeing more from her. But she faces Aiden Adams to start. And they had a good little,
back and
forth, yeah. Adams eventually gets it because I think he was kind of playing a little bit of I don't really want to.
Oh yeah, I think he just rolled her up.
He did roll her up
because it looked like he was going to hit her with a move, and he's like, "No, I'll just
rolled her up." So he's playing a little bit of I don't want to actually fight you.
Yeah, well, Aiden is a good guy.
Yeah.
He's one half of the above average shows.
That's
the
right.
Current tag team champions.
Yeah, who we haven't seen the other half for
since
some
they
time.
won. I haven't seen them since they won.
Yeah, that could be. I'm not sure, but then we had after Aiden Adams eliminates Alex Zwicker, we get Aiden versus Sheik Shabazz, and Sheik is former champ, and he is. You leaned over and said it. He's looking good.
Yeah,
he looks like he's been putting some extra time in at the gym.
When I first saw him, he looked about as in shape as I am.
And this is one thing I took away from this match too. I've seen him now. I feel like he's been on every show I've been to. His corner European uppercuts are so good. Yeah. And he jumps from halfway across the ring, I feel, to deliver.
It's very impressive.
Yeah. So I've been when I first saw him, I was kind of okay. Yeah. He was champion when I first started going to shows. I was he's fine. But he's taken a step up, I got to say.
Yeah, he looks good.
And maybe it's all that Andy Anderson bullcrap he's had to put up with.
And he's just
you will learn a lesson, Sheik.
Yeah.
You will learn a lesson. But having said all that, Sheik European uppercuts his way through Aiden Adams.
Yeah.
To set up the final 2 being Sheik and Mo Jabari. Who Mo is someone who I'm excited to see every time because I feel like he's kind of taking those steps.
And you can see him progressing in his capabilities too. Every time he comes out, he's better.
Yes. And I was hoping he was going to get I didn't say this gauntlet match was for the number 1 contender.
Yes.
For the championship. And I was hoping that.
Or a championship, I guess. Because if Alex won, she'd get a shot at Zoe.
I guess.
That's what it said on the
Facebook. Oh, did it say that?
Yeah. It said on the Facebook.
Huh. Anyway, I was hoping that Mo was going to win this match, which by me saying that, he clearly doesn't.
Yeah.
Sheik does. But, yeah.
With
Mo,
a sick Razor's Edge.
Yes. But Mo, I think, he takes those steps each time. And that's the one fun thing to see with shows like this is you start seeing talent more and more, and you can actually see them progressing.
Yeah.
Which in our interview with MRB is something that he talked about, like kind of having a passion for too, is like working with those people and trying to bring them to the next level and whatever. And so it's fun to see that. And so matches like this, stars or performers like Mo and stuff like that. It's a reason it's fun to go. But after Sheik wins, and he's now number one contender, he decides to grab a mic and essentially throw all that away.
Yeah. I don't want to be number one contender. I want Andy.
I will trade that number one contender shot for a fight with Andy Anderson at Fright Night, which is the next Edmonton show. I do believe they've got a Calgary show probably in between there.
Destiny is next.
Yeah. So
in Calgary.
He's saving it for Edmonton.
Yeah.
So it's going to be here at Fright Night. Because Andy Anderson basically... well, here's the thing. Andy Anderson comes out with Thaddeus Archer III, scum of the earth, Thaddeus Archer III.
He's not scum. He knows what people want.
No, he is scum.
And it's
go on.
Always what's best
Defend
for
the
business.
bad person. But no, so TA3, Thaddeus Archer III, who is the general manager of PWA, basically he comes out, I'm intrigued by this, because he basically says... You
just played into
our hand.
Yeah.
You want the match, you got it. So he gives up the number one the title shot for a shot at Andy Anderson. So I'm interested to see what Thaddeus has up his sleeve there. The scoundrel, dirty, rotten scoundrel.
Nah, he knows exactly what PWA needs.
What's that?
And he's a proper champion.
Yeah, okay. Which has nothing to do with that match.
No.
Nothing to do with that match.
But that's not why you're calling him scum of the earth anyway.
It's true. So that'll bring us, though, to the main event, which was Michael Richard Blaze, God's gift to wrestling. Michael Richard Blaze, I shouldn't forget that he corrected me.
He corrected you. You
in
really
person.
need to work on that.
It's like the first thing he said to me, by the way, against Michael Allen Richard Clark, who is the current champion.
The correct champion.
So if we go back...
Long may he reign.
Jeez. If we go back, I think it was just one Edmonton show. I'm sure, again, I believe there's always a Calgary show in between.
There's usually a Calgary show in between.
So, and there for sure was. So we go back about a month or so, and Michael Richard Blaze actually wins the championship, and then the scum of the earth comes out and announces that Michael Richard Blaze is the champion for PWA, but he's not his champion. To which Thaddeus welcomes out Michael Allen Richard Clark.
Which he gave a number one contendership to under duress at one of the other shows we went to see.
Yeah, he did give it to him after he hit everybody with a cutter.
And he threatened to hit Thaddeus with a cutter.
Yep,
So
and Thaddeus sold his soul.
He was just doing what he needed to do to survive.
Yeah, sure.
Come on.
All right. Anyway, so at that show, like a month ago, Michael Allen Richard Clark comes out. They start and matched. It was about a 7-minute match or so. MRB kicking out of a couple cutters, and eventually MARC going over and being champion, and the whole building leaves very much not happy. Deflated. In fact, you weren't at that show, but I texted you, and new PWA champion, and then a few minutes later, and new PWA champion. I'm like, what's happening? So they did have a match in between in Calgary, which ended in a schmoz, which brings us to here. And it ends in a mess again.
It was a good match, though.
It was a good match. And as the match was going, I literally thought, man, I'd like to see these guys work a few more matches. So we're going to get that. But the scum of the earth. The piece of trash. What did MRB? The son of a piece of trash.
The son of a piece of trash. No, that was MARC.
Yeah, MRB called MARC that, yeah. Which is also confusing. Like the names. You literally have two Michael Richards in the ring. Michael Richard Blaze, Michael Allen Richard Clark.
Yes.
Blaze and Clark. We'll refer to him that way. But yeah,
right.
Blaze called Clark a son of a piece of trash.
I think he was like about to say the B word, and then he caught himself as like kid show. Son of a piece of
Also, if there's a lesson
trash.
to be learned for both of these guys in this match, quit calling your shots.
Yeah.
Both of them at one point, like Blaze
Multiple
a couple
times.
Brain Buster! He finally hit it after about 4 times that it got reversed. And then I know for sure Clark at one point.
He called the Brainbuster once.
Did he call Brain? I thought he called a cutter too.
And then he called a cutter
and he got
once
shot
as well.
down.
And he did hit the cutter at least once, though.
But so the schmoz that I was referring to, the end of this match. So what happens is all of a sudden a guy who's sitting 2 rows in front of us
Yeah.
the entire night gets up and rushes the ring, shoves the security guard out of the way, jumps in the ring. Did he hit?
He
must have hit Blaze first.
He shoves the ref.
Oh, yeah.
And then hits Blaze. Blaze turns around and be like, what the heck? He gets codebreaker, single leg codebreaker.
Yeah, and then he shouts, "We belong here!" And then as the locker room clears out, he hits the road.
Yeah.
And that guy, though, that came in is a guy named Jack Pride from RCW. Came right, and I mean, I had no idea who he was. Thank you, Twitter, for afterwards.
Thank you, Jack Pride's Twitter, for telling us about it.
Yeah. Well, I think actually MRB tweeted at him like, "What the heck was that?"
Yeah.
And he jumps in the ring, causes a distraction, jumps MRB. The whole locker room clears out. They're all coming to the rescue. Hurrah! Here we are. And then
Thaddeus gets everybody out of the ring because they're interrupting the match.
Let's go again. And then so they start fighting. Finally, MRB hits the brainbuster.
And he's about to go 1, 2, 3.
Thad rings the bell.
Thaddeus does the correct thing because
come off it. You know what? That is not up to Thaddeus.
MRB
for one.
won by disqualification.
You are right.
As the general manager, it's his job to enforce the rules. MRB won by disqualification.
As the referee's job is to enforce the rules.
And if the ref doesn't do the job,
no, the ref was clearly
Archer
in the ring, conscious
to do the job properly.
Nah, see, this is where you're siding with trash. The ref is clearly conscious, good to go to make the he decided not to call it because he missed that.
He missed the attack.
But then Ryan came down and Ryan got pushed out of the way too. He failed to do his job, and then the referee was conscious, counting the 1, 2, 3 when Thaddeus rang the bell.
It doesn't matter. The ref didn't see it.
The ref didn't ring the bell. When is it okay for someone to come down? Why doesn't that happen every time then? Why doesn't the general manager come out every time the ref misses
Because he doesn't need
something?
to, because the ref didn't miss the DQ.
Because he's a garbage.
No.
So anyway, MRB wins by disqualification, which means Michael Allen Richard Clark
is still
champion.
PWA.
Yeah.
Heavyweight champion.
We'll see for how long. So
heavyweight.
That was probably the best part of that night was when they're introducing. Yeah, because MRB is 205 and MARC is 220 something or whatever.
Yeah.
So he corrects Ivan, heavyweight champion. That was good. But here we are
at the end of the show.
Yeah.
All deflated. Everyone's sad.
I mean, but good. I mean, good on them.
Confused and deflated.
Good on them in the sense that
you can't always end on a happy note.
What it reminded me of was like watching a TV show and you end on a cliffhanger, right? And it's like, okay, I can allow that even if Thaddeus is a waste of
You're letting your prejudices
wasting all of our oxygen.
You're letting your prejudices against nice suits get to you.
Thaddeus definitely takes his fashion sense from Don Cherry. That's all I will say. I want to know where Thad gets his suits made.
So you can get one?
So I can avoid that place like the end of the week. No, thank you. No, thank you. But, the end of the show I thought was good because it kind of leaves you going, all right, where to next? The only downside when PWA does that is I know I'm not going to be at the next show because the next show is always in Calgary.
Yeah.
And I just can't. Yeah, I can't drive 3 hours for it on a Saturday night, especially when the winter months roll around.
Yeah, and then so either you're driving back and you don't get in until 4.
Yeah,
and then or you're staying the night in Calgary.
Yeah, then I gotta hope for every time that because with this story when we had the finish. A month ago, and I was like, shoot, they're going to have their match in Calgary. And then it schmozzed. I was like, all right, cool. They're coming back to Edmonton. We schmozzed again. What's going to happen now? It better not be in Calgary because I can only watch it up here. So we shall see. But all in all, I thought it was, it was a pretty good show. It had its ups and its downs. The only real complaint I had kind of was to me, it felt a little bit long.
It did.
I wish they'd start their shows
slightly
a little bit early. 7 o'clock. Why can't you start?
Doors
at
open at 6:30.
Yeah, well, the tickets.
At 7.
It's funny because the tickets say if you looked at it, it says doors 6:30, show 7:30.
Yeah. Website's always 7.
And then I know, and then it's like, the doors are 7, show 7:30. I was like, wish they'd move.
Very
to 7.
confusing.
Yeah, doors 6:30, show 7. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
it makes it easier to bring kids, anyways. Because they get tuckered by the end of it.
You got to fill them up with sugar.
Yeah,
and he wasn't having any of that.
No, not at all. My kid doesn't like sugar. Are you kidding me?
He didn't even finish his pop.
Yeah. Leave him alone. Anyway, that'll do it for this episode of Discover Progress. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Disc Progress. And of course, you can find the show wherever you listen to podcasts, including YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, everything.
AllWrestling.com.
Literally everything. And allwrestling.com. That'll do it for another one, though. So, bye-bye.
Bye.